together here at LARRS. Today we are going to be talking about bearded dragons. This is one of my favorite reptiles. They will always hold a special place in my heart. My first bigger lizard was a bearded dragon. His name was Athos, and he did end up passing away from cancer. But he was my everything. He was my entire world, and he really kind of set in motion the reason why we handle reptiles, not only birds, at the rescue. So going through everything with Athos and learning, learning about bearded dragons, with Athos and consulting with veterinarians. And now I've been working with bearded dragons for 15 years. So I am very passionate about working with bearded dragons. So today I have this little guy with me, and his name is Spartacus. So he is a more recent surrender to the rescue. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. So I'm going to see if I can try to show you Spartacus a little bit here. So he is a beautiful boy. He is very, very big, which is cool. He had on his happy colors when I grabbed him to bring him upstairs. But now he's just wondering what's going on. So bearded dragons have this awesome little thing. And so they're well, first of all, they're prey animals in the wild. And so, they do certain things to try to ward away predators. And one of the things that they do is they will puff up their entire body. They'll flare their beards out, and they can also turn the color. I just blew some air on him, so he's like, what's that? They can also change the color of their beards to black, and some of that blackness will actually extend all the way down kind of through their chest area. So they puff up, and they kind of do this little sideways dance, and that's how they ward off predators in the wild. These guys, and I asked this in my educational presentations, but I'll give you the answer right now. These guys are native to Australia. Of course, they have been being bred now for a very long time in the U.S. as pets. And they really do make really good pets. They're kind of solitary animals. They don't really like other dragons. If they're around other dragons, and, if you have dragons that you are housing together, just be prepared. These guys usually take off toes, they take off the tips of tails, and they attack each other. And it happened with my first dragon, Athos, and then my second dragon, Aramis, who he still is an educational animal for the organization. So you guys see Aramis out and about once in a while. But this guy... Okay, so I'm getting a kick out of him because he keeps looking at me like, lady, what are you doing? Right? Yeah. Lady, what are you doing? So he's actually a really good health, really good size. Again, he's just a recent surrender to the organization. I'm talking, so he's looking at me instead of looking at you guys. So let me see if I can turn him just a little bit here. One of the other questions that I get all the time concerning bearded dragons are, what are those holes on the side of their head? Those are their ears. And their ears, let me see if I can get them a little bit closer here. So their ears are actually covered in a thin membrane. That is because of where they are from in Australia. He's like, what's going on? Okay, so he actually sees himself in the picture right now, too. And bearded dragons, like if they're put in front of a mirror or something like that, they will literally go ahead and chase themselves and try to get at themselves. Because, again, they're solitary animals. They don't like other animals. So the membrane over the ear is so that dirt and dust can't get inside of their ear. Their ear is not one of their stronger senses, however. Their eyesight is really the strongest sense. So when they're looking all around. And a cool thing about bearded dragons, let's see if I can get him. So he's he's still trying to figure out what's going on. So I don't know. You guys might be able to see this. There is a little tiny dot in the middle of the heads of bearded dragons. And that is what is called the third eye. Now, they can't actually see things out of that. It's more like a receptor. So they sense shadows and things like that. And they will do a quick turn of their head when they're in the wild to see if there are any predator birds above them. These guys can run very fast when they want to, so there's that aspect as well. But they now are being bred for all of their colors and patterns, and sometimes we're running into some really serious issues with these guys because they are being overbred in the pet industry. People have bred these guys For example, there are scaleless bearded dragons, so they don't have any scales at all. They're called silkies. There's also bearded dragons called leatherbacks, and they don't have like the regular spikes kind of on the back. They're a little bit more smooth. But with overbreeding, we're seeing a lot of bearded dragons who are born in renal failure. They're born with gout, born with muscular dystrophy. They have cancer. They have adenovirus. There's a lot of cryptosporidius going around with bearded dragons. Now, don't let that scare you away from having one of these animals because they are awesome, and they also cannot pass those illnesses to humans. The only risk with bearded dragons, of course, with any reptile is salmonella, but that only occurs in cases where the animal is not being kept clean. And, if you touch their feces, you want to wash your hands right away afterwards. But, there's a lot of cool things about bearded dragons. They have huge personalities. When I had my dragon Athos, he would play hide and seek with me. I was able to eventually get him potty trained so that if he was out and about and roaming around, which he was pretty much a free roaming lizard in my house, I lizard proofed my house, but he would go and do his duty on the kitchen floor instead of the carpeting. And all it took is one time really of him being out, and I was right next to him, and he took the position of wanting to poo, and I went, no, and I grabbed him and I put him over in the kitchen, and from then on, that's the only place that he pooped. I didn't have to worry about bearded dragon poop in my carpet. So these guys are super highly intelligent. There's been scientific studies on these guys, studying the higher cognitive function. And one of the studies in particular found that they had like a group of bearded dragons, and they had to solve a puzzle in order to get at a feeder. I think they were giving it a roach. And they had other bearded dragons watching this one bearded dragon, and they found out that the bearded dragon who solved the puzzle, who got the roach, all of the other bearded dragons, only by watching that one bearded dragon, they were able to solve the puzzle immediately and get at the roach. So these guys, again, are just amazing little animals. A lot of the spikes that you see kind of on their back, that is just a defense mechanism. So you guys see these little spikes on his side? These are actually really, really soft little spikes. And he's got all these little spikes on his chin. He's got all these little spikes on the back of his head. These are probably the most pokey just because of the position and, that they're kind of tight against the skin. So, what do you say, Spartacus, huh? What do you say? Is that tons of fun? Should we get you back downstairs? Yeah. This dragon is so super nice. Would make an absolutely awesome house pet. He is available for adoption right now as of today, March 16th, 2023. So if you guys are interested in adopting little Mr. Spartacus here, boop, you can submit a reptile adoption application on our website. We will review it, and if you're found to be qualified, we will get back to you. We do have a lot of other bearded dragons for adoption right now at the rescue as well. So I'm going to wrap up our bearded dragon video for today, and Mr. Spartacus is going to go back downstairs and eat some greens and roaches. Have a great day, guys.